Just when we thought the Edmonton Oilers core was done. Just when we thought that Connor Mack, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, the Nuge, and everybody else could not get themselves back on their feet. All of a sudden, after this game, they're alive! They're alive! And yeah, I did the sun thing. It's a very particular angle that we're sitting at right here. But, as I had said, I'm on a trip. I ended up watching this game. Found myself a TV. We're here. We watched it on the ESPN broadcast. I am in America. Hello to the USA. But the Edmonton Oilers have just defeated the Florida Panthers 8-1 in game number 4, avoiding the sweep and giving Oilers fans at Rogers Place something to cheer for. Many things to cheer for, 8 things to cheer for, and the game result at the end of it. The Oilers, look, honestly, this was the best game they might have played all playoffs. Like, the Panthers did not have themselves a great showcase at all. Sergei Bobrovsky, he got pulled. 5 goals on, I think it was 18 total shots. Anthony Stolarz comes in. He's great. Fantastic goalie. Did his job in the regular season, but he lets in 3. The Oilers don't let Stuart Skinner see too much danger in front. They shut down the Florida Panthers. And, you know, we said this about multiple games this year. It was a point that Yannick Hansen brought up on one of the Sportsnet 650 post-game shows earlier in 2023. But when a hockey game is in a 4-1 state, when it becomes 5-1, at that point, you don't really have anything there to learn. Everybody knows who is going to win. Everybody expected Edmonton to take the dub in this one after, like, a certain amount of time had passed after the power plays, and once the Panthers got in a 5-on-3 deficit, that's when we were like, okay, Edmonton's going to win. Like, it's going to go back to Florida. The Panthers will have themselves a chance to win the Stanley Cup on home ice, give the fans in the rat rink something to cheer for themselves. This game 4, though, sorry, there's no comeback possible here for Florida. No matter how well they're able to perform, what their goal is at this point when it's 4-5, 6-1, just try to weather the storm. And unfortunately, they weren't able to do that. The Panthers lose 8-1, and before we even get into the intricacies of the game, before we talk about the events and what happened, which I don't even know if we can, there are 9 gosh darn goals in this game. What I think is the most important fact that I really wanted to go out there and talk about was how Florida had a 3-0 lead in this Stanley Cup Finals series. They were looking so good, so hot. Everybody was expecting them to come back and dominate and win. But then the statement game from Edmonton comes in return. 8-1. When was the last time we saw an 8-1 statement game for a team that was down in the Stanley Cup Finals to really put the bootstraps on and get everybody else panicking? It was 2011. Vancouver had a 2-0 series lead. They won game 1, 1-0 against Boston. They won game 2, 3-2 in overtime against Boston. Thanks, Alex Burrows. And then in game 3, they lost 8-1. And that was the wake-up call for a lot of Canucks fans to say, wait a minute, okay, this is not a walk in the park. Just because the Canucks won the first 2 games does not mean that the Stanley Cup is going to come easy. They're now only leading by 2-1, and they just got destroyed in Boston. I'm not saying it's the exact same thing here. Edmonton, of course, was down by 3, and if they lost today, they would have lost the entire thing here, but the fact is, an 8-1 game is kind of symbolic in my mind. Like, I think of this score 8-1, and I always jump back to game 3, Vancouver-Boston. But now it's 8-1, it's game 4, Florida-Edmonton. Not only did you have yourselves the depth guys on Edmonton getting things started, shorthanded goal by Mattias Janmark. By the way, downtown Connor Brown, what an amazing playmaker he is to get around everybody, waltz around the goaltender, go behind the goal line, and center it through Sergei Bobrovsky in front for Mattias Janmark. Fantastic. Mwah, chef's kiss of a goal right there. But that just wasn't it. Because later on, you had Adam Henrique, okay, great, 2-0 game. Then Tarasenko responded, made it 2-1. That's the Florida way. They get back in there. You see their guys generating some offense. They're starting to cook, and this sun is starting to go down behind the trees a little bit, so it's a lot easier for me to look at the camera and not get blinded. But after that, it was 2-1 Edmonton, and then it was 3, and then it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is where you started to see the Edmonton Oilers Stars come to play. No, not the Dallas Stars. The Edmonton Stars. Connor Mack had a goal and 3 assists in this one, 4 points, and he breaks the all-time record for most assists in one playoff run. Leon Draisaitl finally gets up on the board. Okay, great. He's got the monkey off of his back. He's got points now. You had Nugent-Hopkins first on the board. You thought it was Zach Hyman at first, but it was Nuge. He goes out there on the rebound on a Leon Draisaitl beautiful one-timer off the post and off of Stolarz' back. It trickles down, and the rebound is right there. And then you got goal support from guys that you wouldn't normally expect. Dylan Holloway had a monster game. 2 goals, including one of the most beautiful passing plays we have seen all playoffs long, where Corey Perry is coming down, he's cutting towards the left, crosses back to the right, over to Connor Mack on the side, and McJesus centering it perfectly, NHL 24-style cross crease, in front for Holloway, beating Stolarz. Beautiful goal. I think that was a 7-1 goal. Not to mention Darnell Nurse getting involved in the action too. Connor Mack coming in with the little drop pass. Nurse picks it up, fires, and goes top cheddar on Bob. That was a game for the ages. For the Edmonton Oilers, a team that needed to dig deep within themselves and say, okay, what has it been that made us such a successful team throughout the regular season? You know, ignoring the first few games with Jay Woodcroft at the helm. Regular season, playoffs, how we dominated LA, how we barely squeaked by Vancouver, how we were able to take out Dallas. What have we done to get to this point? They had to ask themselves that, and they did fully acknowledge what made them so special. On the rush plays. They had scored the majority of their goals in this one on the rush. I think only 2 of them were not rush plays. It's just quick zone entry, maybe a few moves with the puck, and then it's in the back of the net. Zone entry, drop pass, shot back of the net. Zone entry, pass, cross crease, back of the net. This team got everything clicking in the ways that we thought they should have been able to do earlier on in this series when it was 0-0 or 1-0. The fact is, the Oilers had themselves a really strong game 1, so we knew that they did have some mojo, but despite losing that game 1, they weren't able to carry that momentum forward into games 2 and 3. Game 4, though, they came back with a vengeance, and now they're only down by 2. Of course, being down by 2 and coming back and winning is not impossible. It's a lot more possible than being down 3-0. But of course, you got to take this one game at a time, right? You can't be the Oilers and think about it saying, yeah, our goal is to win 4 in a row. No, you think about it, you got to win 1 at a time. You have to win today. They did that. They did that in successful fashion. 8-1. Maybe it's going to be 6-2 on game number 4. Or 5, excuse me. Yeah, I'm getting my games mixed up. Maybe the Oilers come back and totally take control. Who really knows? The Boston Bruins did it against the Vancouver Canucks in 2011. Who knows if it's possible here? But for now, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Edmonton Oilers revival. Connor McDavid, he's alive. Leon Draisaitl is alive. And yeah, all Frankenstein references up in there. The Edmonton Oilers are alive. Maybe not for long, though. All it takes is one loss. All it takes is one Florida Panthers domination performance. And all it takes is one Sergei Bobrovsky shutout where he steals the game to win the Stanley Cup and for Edmonton to lose. Honestly, even if the Oilers lose in 5, they lose in game 5, and everything looks bad in Florida, this one game, this game 4, I think is something that Oilers fans can hang their hat on and be proud to have witnessed, because when you get goal support from everybody, not to mention the top guys, you're getting your points from the top guys, you're getting the depth guys stepping in there, Corey Perry, assists, Warren Foegele, forechecking like crazy, Matthias Janmark, Adam Henrique, Holloway. These guys are going to town. And at the end of the day, even if the Oilers do lose the Stanley Cup, which is very well possible on Tuesday in Florida, this game was one to write home about. So thoughts in the comment section below about the Edmonton Oilers and their huge victory in game number 4. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.